Alright everyone, we're back after some technical problems. We're back on the grand final of 8-ball 3's. This is frame 7. Currently the Marauders are leading 4-2, and we can see Max and Matt on the table at the moment, and Max on the black. Which he takes. The chalk to Q close in on the Marauders.
And that's closest to gap. Apologies for the technical difficulties early on. I'm just going to let JL carry on the commentary for a little while reposts on Facebook to make sure that people still know the feed's going on. So back to you, JL.
So we are at 4-3. Mostly it's been a very balanced match so far. We're about to get frame 8 going. This is a reminder to everyone, this is a race to 10, so the first team to get to 10 frames wins, and the match ends immediately. If at the end of the standard 18 frames the result is 9-all, there will be 3 additional frames, so each player will play one other player once, and it's a race to 2 after that. So here you can see Hamid's just broken off, and he got a red ball in, which he has nominated. Yeah, so as you can all see, we'll be having a few conversations just to make sure that the stream is at its best quality possible. So this particular frame is between Hemi of the Chalk and Q and Mark from the Marauders. And for those of you who are not familiar with this particular competition, it takes place here at the Harmony German Club every Tuesday. And it's called the 8-ball 3's because each team has 3 players. So it's standard 8-ball world rules. That takes place every week, and it's a round robin where every team plays every other team once through the competition, and the top 4 teams go through to semi-finals. So you are joining us in the final at the moment, and this promises to be quite a good final. So for context, Chalk to Q were the winners of last season of 8-ball 3's, and are here again in the final. So very clearly quite a consistent and very good team. The Marauders is a fairly new team for this season, but they have quite a lot of potential, and at the beginning we all agree that they were favourites to make the final. So here we are, several weeks later, in the final with these 2 teams facing off against each other. Mark's played a good shot there. He needed that to go in, and he set himself up for a potential clearance here. The only problem ball that I can see right now is the topmost yellow, because it's very close to that red, but that should still not give him any trouble.
Okay, JR, we're probably scared off all our viewers now for all the technical difficulties, so probably less people watching live now than probably more on the replay. It's a very close contest. I was playing with bylaws this season, and we should have been in the grand final, but we chopped up a few frames against the Marauders, so in some respects they're lucky to be here, so they'll probably feel a little bit more relaxed coming to this final, whereas the Chalk and Q are defending champions, so might be feeling a little bit of pressure. What do you think?
I think you may be right. There might be some pressure. Clearly, there's been a couple of rushed shots, but so far the quality has been quite good. And the Marauders have excellent quality. I think it's they've played really well throughout the season. They finished top. Is that right? The Marauders finished top at the season, so it's perhaps not entirely surprising that they're here. They're clearly a very good team, and they've got lots of potential for coming back and making the final many seasons to come. So yeah, but I think there have been a couple of shots in the previous frames from a couple of players that lead you to, as it's natural. There's quite a lot of pressure going on, and I'm sure that they will also benefit from watching this particular stream back, whatever parts ended up online, and I think possibly one of the most important and useful aspects of the streaming is actually the ability for every player to watch themselves play again.
Yeah. So just going to this game here, like I think Mark really needs to roll that cue ball back, so he had a shot to the top left hand pocket now, so I guess left with a bit of a double because he can't get the other ball, so might as well just try and promote it out.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. If he can actually put this in the middle, he might elect to do so, but I think you're probably right. You may need to play a double here. He's elected to actually go for it. Maybe it did go. This is a good chance for Hemi to take some control of this frame, because Mark is now facing no problems. So Hemi's got some pressure on here to make sure that he capitalizes a bit on this opportunity. And he's played an excellent shot here. He's left himself the opportunity of covering this bottom corner, which I think is what he's trying to do now.
Yeah, I think definitely covering that corner pocket. If you can't pot it, definitely gets you back in the game.
Give you some level insurance.
Ooh, he's under hit it.
He's not played that particularly well, so he's left Mark a possibility of doing something. His Hemi's saving grace here is the fact that Mark's actually on the cushion, so
I'd probably go for that middle pocket first and then get the angle to cut it in. Going the other way, you risk running into the red and self-snookering.
I think you are actually absolutely
if you can't
right.
come out for it.
I think you are absolutely right. He doesn't have to do much with the cue ball here, just needs to drop this in.
Ooh, it's played it slightly a bit hard.
That was an interesting choice of shot. I think he has left.
So now that we're back on live, something I will mention is I'm actually enjoying being in the commentary booth for the first time, because the two previous seasons I actually ended up being in the grand final. So the first time was against the Whalers, which we won as part of the bylaws with Phil Morton, Vanessa Nelson and myself, and then second season we played Chalk to Q, who here in the grand final. We lost that one 10-5, and I was actually with JL, who's my co-commentator, with George Nissitz and Mick Norton. Nothing happened right for us that night. So this is the third time where my team actually got eliminated in the semi-final, so now I'm able to commentate and provide a bit of info about this competition and how it's set up and what a fun comp it is.
So this is a crucial shot here. If Hemi can get a chance here.
So one of the reasons why I created this competition, JL, was it's fairly hard to get involved in the ACA Ball Association competition right away, because there's a lot of captains who don't really look at new players. So one, it's very hard to join a team, and even if you join a team, it's really hard because you have to come straight into the competition and be ready to fire. Whereas this 8-ball 3's competition is a little bit more social and more welcoming of new players. And so I think every season now we've had about like 20 new people come into the competition and join, which is
a fair assessment,
main purpose of the competition.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment actually. There's quite a lot of players, and I've enjoyed playing this competition quite well, and it was one of the very first few I started playing on when I got here. It certainly is quite inviting and quite welcoming, and it does actually these days provide the opportunity to gauge the level of everyone in the ACT.
It's also kind of a unique format as well because it's 3 individuals versus 3 individuals, and each person gets 6 frames in a night. You play the other guy twice, once breaking, once receiving, and it's total 18 frames in a night, which I find fairly good, fairly social. You got a bunch of free mates. It's a real good comp to get involved with.
And additionally, you do get the chance to actually play against a huge range of players. So it's an opportunity for some new players to fill in when a particular team player can't make in a particular week. And so you do get to play against some people who are just learning the rules, but at the same time, you get a chance to occasionally play against some of the top players in the ACT. Some of which are playing this final tonight. So
yeah, the skill mix is varied because you do get some really high caliber players playing, and you also get very inexperienced players. So there's a bit of a mix there.
Yeah, but it's still a very friendly environment and quite encouraging for everyone. So that's a good thing to see.
Looking at this table configuration, Hemi's actually really in control. Needs to play this red gently and sit it behind the black. Oh, he spotted it. So yeah, that's not a bad leave.
It's not. I think Mark needs a really good shot here because there's no problems for Hemi at all. So I think Mark is. Oh, apologies, we've just lost the picture, but we'll get it back to you.
Sorry, range or different
momentarily.
We're just currently testing a new high definition camcorder, so tonight's been a little bit of a trial exercise. Hopefully we'll get this right for the AC 9-ball Dragon League final between Woodsy and Mick Norn. So apologies if you are sitting at home feeling a little bit frustrated because it's been on and off. So we definitely apologise for that. But George does real good work to bring live pool to the screens.
So
now Hemi just really needs to pick his shot well to get in control of this frame. And I'd say running it to the what we're looking at here, the bottom left would be the right call. Good shot.
That's an okay shot. He has covered that pocket for the black, but I don't think
probably just play this off like one rail, get a shot down back to the pot. He just may.
Ooh, if he goes in off.
Always a danger of doing that if you overhit it too hard.
That is unlucky.
Should we just play that softly with a bit of forward spin, roll it back, and play the black to the long pocket?
Possibly, or try to cut it as thin as possible, because that way you get a chance for the cue ball to come back down the table, and then you have the black ball available to the top of the table. But I think he's chosen. If that hadn't gone in, he probably would have been on the black in the middle.
It's definitely showing up that way.
And he's given Mark
2
2
visits here.
visits.
Mark should be able to finish the frame, I'd say.
I don't see how Mark's not going to do it. Mark's got the quality to do this easily. This isn't the problem. So I fully expect Marauders to go 5-3 up. Yeah, he's left himself a relatively easy shot in the middle.
It's a bit of an awkward shot, but 2 visits you should be able to finish from here.
Yeah, this is when you've got 2 visits on the black. Usually, in situations like this, you can actually overthink the situation. I think here he just needs to go for the pot straight away. Have the confidence that this will go in, and that'll be it. He's
He's
elected
gone
to
for
go
the
the other
double.
way,
That's the right shot.
which is fair.
That was a very intelligent use of the first visit.
So the Marauders do take the frame. And we are...
So Marauders are racing away 5-3. This is going to be very hard to reel back. Although, having said that, we did play the Marauders early in the season, and we were leading them 6-3, and they came back to win 10-8. So anything's still possible. It's just like one frame at a time. Although if you have a player like Kenny Nicol in your team, who's like one of the more elite players, if you get out to a 5-3 lead, might be hard to reel back. You really need to make sure you take a few games off Kenny to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, so I think from the chalk to Q's point of view, it's about trying to get 1 or 2 frames off Kenny, which will be a big ask, and try to get as many frames as possible off the other players. And I think from the Marauders' point of view, they will be they'll be aware of Max's quality. They'll certainly be aware of.
Yeah, so that was actually very fortunate that the ball went down. I think Reds look better. What do you think? By the way, it's Long Dang on commentary with JL Bento, and we both play for the Kaling Guns out at the Kaling Bar and Bistro. To play the Chaos tomorrow night, grand final. Finals.
Sorry, the first round of the finals for the Division 2, yes. Which we'll be playing at this venue, I believe. Is that right? We'll be playing at this venue
Right here at the German club.
So Kenny, I think it was the cluster of reds and yellows on the left hand side, as we see on the table, was a problem for both. So Kenny just decided to go with the color that he potted and secured a pocket. That's a somewhat fortunate result.
I was surprised Kenny actually chose yellow. Glenn can take control of the table back by bumping that yellow out by running a red, just on the cushion, bumping it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. So that corner pocket was, I mean, he's clearly took control of that, but it's not a pocket that's really stopping Glenn from clearing. So I think both players are fully aware of that cluster, and that cluster on the left hand side really makes a difference. It's actually going to be interesting to see if we get ourselves in a situation where any player will be forced to deal with that situation. And I think you're right in saying that if Reds is the best option as far as color to deal with that. Having said that, Kenny has partially solved that problem already, so he's quite early on aware of that.
Glenn has to play a real smart shot, or pot a few balls and play a containing shot, because the way the yellows are now is actually a possible pot out for Kenny.
Yeah. That's a good shot, and it's unlucky to have pushed the red even further in the cushion. Having said that, I think he's coming around to have a look at the possibility of knocking this towards the corner pocket at some stage. And I think you're right in saying Glenn needs to take some level of control of the table here. So I think he's
come a bit short, but he's still going to try and run that ball to control the bottom pocket.
Yeah.
It might be better off potting the ones in the middle to get a better angle.
I'm not sure he can see it.
Oh, he's done it again.
Oh, he's got enough again.
Played for it. He's got a result, except now he's created a bit of a problem with the two, the red and yellow stuck with each other.
But also, I think he might be snookered on everything else. So he can play a shot here where he cannons this yellow onto the cushion and behind the red that's covering the pocket. I think that's his only option, but let's see what he does here, because he needs to sort this problem out immediately. Yeah, so that's what he's done. That's a very clever shot.
No, that's a good shot.
It's a very clever shot. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Kenny just pots this red straight away. Oh, okay, so he's elected to solve that problem another way. Okay, that's a very clever shot, because
Yeah, so just bought himself a shot there because it's cover the black basically.
Yep.
Very hard to get back good ball position or linking ball in the black with that shot. I think Glenn's just made it a lot harder for himself with that shot, because now he has got no real natural angle with the red. So yes, the 8-ball 3's competition is very popular. It's the 3rd season now. The 4th season we're going to have 14 teams, I believe, and that's pretty much the maximum for the competition, because there's only 6 tables at a German club, so the next season they'll have to split the 14 teams into 2 groups of 7 and play like that, so that we don't have to play like ridiculous amount of weeks. Oh wow, that's an awesome shot there by Glenn. I didn't even see that one.
That is an absolutely unbelievable shot. Yeah, this
Did
is
not see that at all.
This is something that we've seen all throughout the season, and certainly in the finals. Is Glenn's displayed a maturity in the way that he approaches the game, where he can choose these shots and play them confidently enough.
Ooh, can you screw that a little
He
bit
has
too
turned
far?
this frame around and created a problem for Kenny. Now he will be potentially aware of the fact that there is a small gap for a yellow to pass in behind that red, but Kenny needs to get perfect position for that, and that's extremely difficult.
I think he's
ran a bit too far.
No, he hasn't snookered himself, but he's left himself in a very awkward position. He can't pot to the middle, and the only shot he's got is that yellow right next to the red.
You can see his frustration from his body language.
So it's going to crowd that red ball over the corner pocket.
Yeah. And give himself... he wants to make sure that there is no path to that red. Oh. Actually, no, he's not done anything like that. I hadn't quite realized he could see that much of that yellow. Okay.
But I definitely thought the better shot for Kenny was to crowd the red ball, but...
Well, he has the insurance of the black being covered. Perhaps his tactic here is to force Glenn into a clearance where the black will be a hard shot. I think he's actually tried to develop the black there somehow, but he's forcing Glenn into a hard clearance, which if he misses,
there was actually no need to do that. He could have played it softly to the middle, and then played it down to the left hand pocket.
I think it might have
natural angle to pot the red on the corner and break those 2 yellows to get a shot on the black.
Yeah, I think that was his only option from here. I suspect that from the previous shot he tried to actually cannon the black out. But alright, so this is the position I mentioned. I think Kenny might try to squeeze this yellow past.
I think that was a
the
foul.
black first, and he's creating an even worse problem for himself now. Yeah, so that's definitely a foul, and it's obviously a foul snooker, which Glenn will utilize, I hope.
Yeah, nominate the yellows and just
That's
pot
right,
the red.
just pot the reds.
Bring it back out, so you've got 2 shots on the red of the rail.
Yeah, no question.
You don't need to
about that.
smash it here because you've got 2 visits, so...
But he'll be still aware of the fact that he needs to get that yellow out of there as well, to make sure the black actually goes, or try to cannon the black out of with this shot.
Yeah, that's the good shot.
Okay. So he needs a good shot here. Cannot afford to miss this. So he can give himself 2 shots on the black. This is a lot of pressure, and it's actually awkward queuing over the black as well. So he needs a very good shot.
Okay.
Okay. So his option now is to leave himself a double on the black, or screw back for the black in the corner.
Here's a tip
That's
to go back
beautiful.
in the corner.
That
He's
is
still
absolutely
right.
beautiful.
Go to the middle.
That is beautiful. He judged the pace perfectly on that shot.
Nice shot.
You can
So
see there's
that
confidence there.
closes the gap to 5-4. That was a huge win for the Chalk to Q, because they really need to win that to bring it back. Now, we've had a couple viewers watching, of course. So I don't know if you're friends or family of the players playing, or whatever the case may be. I am actually on a live chat, so if you want to ask questions, anything about this game, just send me a message and I'll be sure to respond, because me and JL obviously always assume people tuning in already know the rules of the game and so forth, but obviously you're new to the game and there's something you need to understand. Just let us know. Makes it more enjoyable, I guess. Oh, this might actually go into extra frames the way it's going. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there was a potential for that to happen. There's quality players on both teams. More importantly, extremely experienced players on both teams who will be used to coping under pressure.
So 5-4. That's halfway now. So there's 3 rounds left. First team to get to 10 wins. If it's 9-9, we have an extra 3 frames, and the first team to win 2 basically claims the final. Fairly good money pot. I mean, the first team gets 600 and the second team gets 300, but it's more for the social aspect that you play 8-ball 3s, but still there's a nice carrot at the end of it. You also get 3 lovely trophies if you win.
That's true. Which you'll be seeing sometime later at the end of the match. So this is a frame between Glenn and Matt, and Matt's at the table with a choice of colours here. He could choose either. I think reds are the preferred option here, but he does have to deal with that problem straight away, and he was aware of the fact that he was going to cannon those 2 reds, and that he had to play this with a little bit of pace, and I think that's probably why he missed that shot.
I think he rushed it a little bit too. I think his head went up as he was queuing the wall. I should say a shout out to Sithu Lewin sitting at home. Sithu obviously plays in the first division side, the Hurricanes, where Max Vertake and Glenn O'Connell also play for. I think they're preparing for a final against Kenny Nichols' team tomorrow, the Matildas. So Max and Glenn getting a shot at Kenny tonight, and they'll play each other again tomorrow to try and win the first division minor final as well. So good luck to the boys. I said to Mick at the start of the season that the Hurricanes should finish in top 4, and if they do that, anything can happen. So see what does transpire, I guess.
So as you can see, that miss brought Mac back into play. It's not a horrible result for Glenn. He's secured that pocket, and of course all of shot selection from Matt now will be influenced by the fact that there's that yellow on the bottom rail. as we see it from here. So he'll be aware of the presence of that throughout.
So at the moment, the table does suit Palco, but who has to play amazing to get all the balls from here. So that's the difference between having a corner pocket tag and not having a corner pocket tag. Is if you have a corner pocket tag, you always got the security that you might come back to the table and have a better run of it. Whereas if you're the opponent, you have to play really, really amazing to clear all your balls.
Yeah, that's right. So the key question for Matt right now is how does he develop that yellow out of the rail? And he may be looking at the possibility of doing that using the other yellow on the corner, but there's always the risk of knocking the red into the pocket. So
yeah, normally you could run the white ball up to the yellow on the rail, but I think the red's blocking that path at the moment.
yes.
It's very tense at the moment. It's just because it's neck and neck.
I
It
think
might
he's
be okay.
overplayed that a little bit.
It's that yellow in a row that's going to cause him no amount of grief, regardless of what happens here. We lost a few viewers. So I think we were at a high of 16 or 17. Now we've gone back to about 8. So attempted off containing there from Palco.
Yeah, I think that was a shot. There was not much point in actually potting that yellow because it was not going to have a good way of getting onto the yellow on the rail. So he's also forced Glenn into taking this red on, which opens that pocket. So having said that, there's a very good chance that Glenn will just run out here. He's playing quite well today. He's playing confidently, and there is really no huge problem in terms of red balls here.
Well, the way Glenn's potted the corner pocket first, he really has to go for the clearance now, because if he lets Palco back on the table, Palco could actually clear up on him. Unless he plays a good containing shot, of course.
Yeah, that's an okay shot. The result is good.
I think you tuck the one closest to the middle first.
So this is a key shot here. He needs to get position somehow on the red on the left hand side, and
Well, it's going to have to come back very hard for it. And anytime you try and hit the ball at pace, you can always miss the cue.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, interestingly enough, maybe it goes in the corner. Maybe squeezes past, or can be potted cushion first and off the yellow. And if that's the case, he can leave himself on the black. That's a great shot.
That's a great shot. I didn't even notice that could pass through. From this angle, it looked like it didn't go, but it did.
That's a good shot.
Would you be fine cutting this to the right middle?
I don't know. I think he has to, just because I don't think the double goes.
Oh, it's going to reverse cut it
Interesting.
past the yellow, and it's
Oh,
gone in off.
well,
Wow.
he will be disappointed he didn't pot the black, but in hindsight, I think he
Well,
prefers
if he
this
potted the
option.
black, that
Yeah,
was
exactly.
lost the game.
Lost the frame, so it's. Yeah, I think it's.
That was the best result for him not to pot the
not
black.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Because even though Palco's got 2 shots, it's a very difficult run from here.
Yeah, I don't see how. But Palco now has the initiative, so he can develop this yellow and then play a snooker behind. Yeah, I think he wanted it a little bit more in the open, but
I think he would have loved to develop it a little bit more, have
Yeah.
it sit in the middle of the
But-
pocket, because now a 1 shot really puts some pressure on with the
that's
black
right.
over the corner.
So if he can hit this and bring the white back, yeah, that's an okay shot. Having said that, he has left
That's a
the
good
double
shot.
on, and I think Glenn will be looking at that possibility. Oh no, hang on a second.
Masse. I
Ano-
reckon Masse.
Another look at this. I think that yellow in the middle of the table is
I think
blocking
that blocks the
the
natural angle
Yeah.
for the top rail.
So let's see what Glenn does here. Is he playing this with side? No, that's a very clever shot. So he's pushed the yellow on top of that black, and so he's left Matt in a tricky situation. So I think Matt is looking at the possibility of coming cushion first and hitting.
So it's just making
the bottom
things
yellow.
awkward.
He's made things quite awkward for Matt, but.
Alright, I'm going to invite George to the commentary.
Let's
Given
see if
he's
he can
done so
develop
much
this
work to
together.
put on, he probably wants to commentate on his teammates
That's a
Max
good
and
shout.
Glenn as well, because George's also a Hurricanes player.
That's a good result. So
Hello, Joel.
Matt's giving himself a chance. So this is his second visit, and he can
You've done a cross for that one over there, yeah.
potentially clear up from here.
Yeah, Glenn got very lucky on that. The black sitting there. But
That's a good shot. So he wanted to leave himself as straight as possible. There's some pressure on this, but it's a good result.
Well, he's had pressure all 2 visits, but he's playing well.
It's a good shot.
Yes, it is a good shot. So Marauder's going to go up 6-4. So that's a massive win right there.
And there's a huge win on a frame that Glenn was in total control of, and I think Glenn played the right shot by pushing that second yellow over the black, because even though one shot was possible to get the 2 of them out simultaneously, there's still a kind of a low probability of that going well. But it did work out for Matt. So
Yeah,
Matt was left with a non-trivial career instead he just did. So that's good.
So Max and Glenn are on my Wednesday team. So I don't know if I can stay unbiased in this match. I want my teammates to win this one, but
And so we start frame number 11. This will be Max versus Mark. Mark's to block.
ooh, that looks like it touched his hand. So I think yellow is the. I'd be going yellow here.
I would agree with that. Even though there's no easy opener, I think he'd still want to take yellows because of those 2 reds in the side. And I'm sure he will.
he hasn't got a shot, he just needs to put the white somewhere where it's not
That's not going to make
going
it
to give
super
Max
easy.
something. But even so, even just setting this one up over the pocket,
Yeah.
you can't pot out from here. So I don't see any point of trying to pot balls here unless he wants to use this to get into a position or something else. So that's not a bad
That's
shot. So Max doesn't look like he has anything here. Maybe the one in the middle, if he's looking to pot something, but he's looking at it. Yeah, might be just getting some balls off the rails here.
So you know Max's game better than I do.
He's very aggressive.
Yeah.
He's very aggressive,
And so.
which is it's
that's-
nice to watch. Sometimes it is really nice to watch.
That's right. When situations when you come to the table and you go, "There's no way,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he clears up. And I've seen him do that a few times. So I think Mark will be potting this and then trying to use the.
It's going to come back across the table down the bottom there. He's
I think you needed to play them a little bit harder, actually, or softer.
the white ball's always going down there unless he screwed it back. But so I don't like that. He should have probably screwed back a little bit for maybe with that yellow into the middle.
So
Is he looking at cutting this? Oh no, he's going long.
Hand, yeah.
He's going long.
I think he's going long. Yeah. That's okay. He hasn't left anything obvious.
Okay. George, it might be worthwhile turning your mic on before you speak.
Yes.
That is funny. I've been talking for the last 5 minutes.
I hope all of you guys are enjoying my solo commentary talking to myself. That's great. Fantastic. So we're both on now. I wonder if Long was talking the whole time with no mic on.
Tommy, what? Sorry.
I wonder whether Long was actually talking with the mic off the whole time. I don't think so.
Nah, probably not.
We're not that bad.
No.
Yeah. So
Look, I don't.
here's an
Those
interesting
two
situation.
yellows next to the red. I don't know. Do they go in anywhere?
It's unclear whether there's a plant on.
I don't think there's a plan, but I think Max just needs to get a ball off the rail here. I don't think Mark can pot out from.
He's about to cut this in. No, he's
I
not.
think he's just trying to promote it now.
Okay, and he's done a good job of that. And he's given Mark an opportunity here. And if
He's actually got not a bad angle to come down and break
That's
those
right.
yellows up now.
Mark will be aware of that, aware of the fact that he can kind of develop things. He doesn't actually have to hit them particularly hard. He just needs to push them into play. And whatever happens, he'll probably still be on the yellow in the corner. So it's a good.
He's putting bottom on this.
So maybe he sees an angle or a plant that we haven't.
Again,
It's
he's
quite
still got those
possible
two
that
yellows.
It's quite possible that the right-hand yellow actually goes on the bottom right corner. Let me stand up and go and have a look.
Nah, I don't think it does. But I don't think it does. It does.
It does.
Oh well, okay. So
Let's
it does go.
Doing the corner.
Okay.
So he
Okay,
really doesn't
then
have to do much with this.
If that so that does go in. Okay, then I don't like that shot that Max did, leaving Mark a shot like that.
But I don't think he can actually see it from where he is now, so he'll have to screw this back, or play for the one in the rail.
He's playing safe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that shot actually.
But again, he's got that. Mark still has that that yellow on the rail. I would have probably potted that and actually just set this yellow up and left it there. So I think Max is just seeing to see if he's actually going to hit the camera. Nah, he's good.
It's okay.
He's alright. That's a good.
I
So he's
can
put,
see what he was trying to do. But yeah.
so both times Max has just promoted 2 of his dead balls. So he's put that red goes probably goes underneath that yellow. Well, it does. It would go definitely. So again, Mark's faced with the same shot. I'm probably going to get criticised for telling Max I didn't like that shot. When he comes back and watches his frames again.
He definitely went for the pot here, and actually
Yeah.
he got a good position to try and get the yellow in the middle as well. So there was a brave effort. So from here, I think that.
I think he might be looking at getting the red over that pocket, but it's. I think he might be going long. Even just setting up and leaving the white sort of kind of where the D is on the table. And he's gone for it actually, and he's just killed his other red.
It wasn't a bad effort. If he'd gotten that, I would have put him favourite for the frame. But I think Max is aware of the fact that the red on the bottom next to the 2 yellows only really goes in the bottom left corner, and getting there from any of the others is actually quite tricky. So I think he's forcing Mark to have a go in trying to get this.
Doesn't want to hit this too hard. That's not a bad
okay.
shot.
That's okay, actually. That's okay, and it's put a little bit more pressure on.
Well, again, Max is pretty much in the same shot now, same situation as he was before.
But I think he might be forced into going for it now, just on the basis that he doesn't have that security of that yellow on the side rail. He might be forced into trying to do this. Now, the shot he's about to play, I think he's about to try and put that red over the corner.
He's got better angle this time. If he
has
he
to
doesn't
be
want to.
careful.
If you pots this off the yellow, okay. So
Yeah, that's
now Mark has a
not a
good
great
opportunity
result.
here. So he's
I fully expect Mark to have a go at this. There doesn't seem to be any problems.
So I'd probably put this yellow in the bottom left as we're looking at the table and coming across for that other yellow in the same pocket, maybe. Or looking for the yellow into the middle. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good
Wants to
shot.
slow down. He's still good. He's
still good. I think he can still. He just came around to check if that.
so just
I think he's just come around to check whether that yellow in the middle of the table actually is visible in the corner. But I think the right shot is to try and pot this one at the bottom. And if he misses,
I'd be going to the bottom, then I'd be going for the yellow near the black into the middle, going for the yellow long, or depending on the angle that I got. Unless he wants to come all the way around for the yellow into the middle.
yeah, possibly. But if he plays this dead weight and he misses, he'll still cover the pocket probably. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, he's
Ooh,
opened
he's
it, and I
actually
think
not
he's left it
covered
on.
that pocket, so
Yeah, okay.
I think
So
this is Max's
if that
chance.
if that cleaning goes in, yeah, Max will come down the table after this shot, and
So Max will be planning his way around here, and trying to get somewhere in the middle of the table, hopefully towards the top. Ooh, he's missed it. He has missed it, and he's come up a bit lucky actually. That's not the worst
Max
lead.
just had this cheeky smile on his face. He's still smiling. He can't believe he missed it.
And he can't believe he left Mark there as well. Yeah, so it's one of those. Oh, I'm sorry I missed. Go on, have a go.
So these balls down the table, and now they're all up the other end. It's hilarious.
I mean, Mark needs a really good shot here. I mean, he cannot afford to miss.
Oh, he's gone long.
Oh, he's
what a
gone long, and that's a great effort.
Oh.
That's a great effort.
I would have gone in the middle. That's me.
You would have tried to cut it in.
I would have tried to cut it into the middle. That's what I thought he was doing.
That's a great effort. But I think he's in trouble now.
Yeah, I think he's in trouble for sure.
Yeah, no, he's
Mr.
He can
West
get
Coast.
himself a decent angle here to go for the one along the rail, and that's really the only shot that could go wrong. I think everything else is pretty straightforward.
Oh,
Well,
Max.
we can see the pressure here. There's pressure on this game.
There's a massive difference between 7-4 or 6-5.
Yeah, that's right.
Massive difference.
That's right. I think Max is aware of that. He knows what the score is. He knows that this game matters.
He hasn't lost being streamed yet. He's been streamed 3 times and hasn't lost yet. he made me know it the other time when he won. He gets 3 times.
He likes it.
Come on, Max. Come on. Yeah, he wanted to be on the other side of this yellow.
We've been saying for the last 3 or 4 visits that this is it. This is good. You gotta go for it because otherwise your opponent will clear up, and it just hasn't happened. So
There's pressure out there. There is a lot of pressure out there.
I was about to say he's committed to this. He's gotta go for it. But
Yeah, for sure.
actually, given how much pressure there is right now, there's actually a chance that he might roll this behind the black. He could do that. He could try and get a snooker here, but it's a tricky shot.
He's gone for it,
He's
and
gone
that's a
for
good
it.
shot. That is a
If
good
he's-
shot.
If he's got the
I
snooker,
think
if he's covered the corner, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know if it's total, but
Let's see from the body language whether. Ooh, I think that might.
It is
yeah,
total.
So it is total.
so
Now Max will obviously be trying to come off the cushion first onto that red, but that's actually quite a tricky shot that can go wrong.
well, here we go.
Ooh, okay. I hope you're all ready for this.
Either they look really good or they look really bad. Oh,
Oh,
nice shot.
shot.
Oh, where's the white?
Oh,
Oh,
he's okay. That's a very good effort.
that is a good effort.
He needs a couple of good shots now, though. There's nothing easy here.
What do you think he's gonna do here?
Yeah, I think
It's not the.
it's not
it's
the worst lead. and I
worst
think
lead, but
he was aware of that, but Mark's got enough quality to pot one of these in the corner. If he does, that could be game over. I think Mark will be amping himself up to try and go for this.
So you're playing in the finals tomorrow night?
Yes. So we finished second in second division. So we're playing the first spot for the first round of double elimination. Yeah.
So straight to the grand final if you win tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Nice shot, Mark.
Great
nice
shot. Great shot. Ironically, I would have taken the other one first, but he's left himself a chance. He's got a chance here.
Again, just wants to leave the white ball somewhere nice. Get your head out of the way, Mark.
Now he will be thinking of whether he plays this with lots of bottom, but I think that's too tricky. I think he should be looking at this shot and just saying to himself, pot it, worry about the black later. Should be fully concentrated on the
just needs to be
fly.
careful he doesn't hit this too soft. Needs to be careful he doesn't hit it too soft.
You called it.
Even if he hit that a little tiny bit harder for the yellow to go in, he still would have been snookered on that red.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I would have played that shot just naturally and waited for the white to go around. A couple of cushions.
Just going to hit the yellow. Oh, he's gone.
Ooh.
He's still good.
I think he was being a little bit ambitious there, but he could afford to do it. It was an easy pot, so I think he's just still going to leave himself a double on this red. He's actually come around.
Would you go for the double, or would you come around and put it into the middle?
Ooh. I can't tell how much angle he's actually got off
I think
this.
the natural angle will go towards
the rail.
We'll go towards the yellow. Alright, I've got no. Sorry, he's on the.
Okay,
he's
so
actually. I thought he had more angle than that.
So he's left himself a double here, and I mean there's a bit of pressure on this, obviously, but I don't think he was expected to come back to the table.
I'll pick him to get this.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Max miss a double in a while, so.
Oh.
And Mark has possibly the first easy chance he's been given in this frame, actually. So
there's a bit of side, come around 2 cushions for the black down the bottom right. That's what I'd be playing.
So he doesn't need to do much with this.
Yeah. It's funny how many people are like, oh, this is easy. Boom, white in the middle.
Yeah, that's right. He's played it well. He's played it really well. This is a tricky
was he
black.
playing for the middle there, or was he playing for the long?
I think he was just trying to avoid the enough.
He's right in between. half a foot either way, and it would have been fine.
Yeah. I still think he'll go for this in the corner.
I'd cut me. I love cutting these. I'd cut it
in the middle.
In the middle. I'd cut it in the middle.
I'm not sure I'd take that. I'd play it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd cut it. I would cut it. I would actually cut it.
He's going for it. He might be playing safe, actually. Yeah,
no, I don't think he's going. I don't think he's cutting. He's going for the double.
Shot.
Oh, what a shot, Mark. He's going for the double. Okay, there you go.
Not bad, Mark. Not bad. I think he was aware of the fact that if he left where he left the cue ball, there wasn't much for Max there either. But it's still good confidence double. And the Marauders have put themselves in an excellent situation here.
Wow, JL. Well, George just adjusts the camera. 7-4. It's going to be hard to reel back.
Yeah, so Chalk to Q have got it all to do now.
Hemi needs to play a real good game here against Kenny, because if it goes to 8-4, that's almost like a on a hill situation.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm just looking at these now, and this is oh no, he's left himself on reds. Reds look good. Reds look real good.
The yellows actually look more inviting on that shot, so if Hemi watches on replay, might have a look at the configuration and go, I should have chosen yellows perhaps on that situation.
Actually, oh, certainly yellows look pretty tasty. This is about as open as you could actually expect them to be. So he will be aware of the fact that if he misses, which he just has, I mean, if you leave a player like Kenny on something like this,
the paws are too open at the moment for my liking. It's Kenny could run out from here.
Kenny could run out from here.
Not beyond him.
I mean, yeah. He's played a good shot there as well. This is the only problem shot, but he doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. He's just got to pot this, and he'll have the yellow in the middle. I would be, if Kenny gets this, I'll put money on him finishing it.
He's probably going to lay this one up.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
No, I actually had the angle to pot and come back from the middle. Sorry. Bit deceiving looking at the screen.
That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. You can screw back a little bit, just a touch. Use that red to stop itself, yeah. And I mean,
He's Chinese snookered himself, but he should still be alright.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah, he's playing it confidently. He's left himself a yellow with less of an angle, so he'll be able to go on to the next yellow long, and yeah, he's got a choice of what to do with this now as well.
Oh, it's overran a little. No, it should still be alright.
Be okay.
Probably wanted a bit more space between the cue ball and the black, but it should still be alright here.
Yeah.
And that's a huge win, puts them at 8-4. It's backs against the wall stuff now for
That's a
the
single visit
chalk
here.
to cue.
Yes, this is the one thing that that chalk to cue could not afford to do, which was to leave a player like Kenny with an open clearance, and he
So
made it look easy actually.
So I have to ask JR, what's happening with the guns for season 4? You guys back, or you need me to fill some spots?
No, we're back. We're back for season 4.
Okay.
We'll be back. I thought that was So the three of us all agreed to come and have another go.
Because you do realise the guns have been minor premiers for 2 seasons. You guys finished second. We made the grand final last season, but have yet to win one, despite
right.
being one of the top teams.
So we were hoping to have a good go at winning this year. We just cannot seem to get past chalk to cue. And with the Marauders playing like this, it should be a very interesting season.
So for season 4, I'm doing something different. Like I said before, we're going to have a maximum of 14 teams, so dividing groups into 2. But I've decided to give the lesser teams. So if you don't make the finals, I'm going to run a blocks comp where they can win their entry fee back. So just gives the lesser players an opportunity, I guess, to play finals type atmosphere. We're using the mobile phone. Yeah, that crapped out on us. But yeah, because for the first couple of seasons, there wasn't really any incentive for the lower placed teams, and I felt,
Should have a go.
part of newer players' development is to get them into like finals experience type situations, and the only way I could do it is if I introduce it like a blocks comp.
I think that's a good idea. Certainly at this stage of the competition, we've got plenty of tables here. We could be running something parallel here. There's absolutely no reason not to.
This is a really important match for Chalk to Q. Hemi really needs to get this back to 8-5, and then hopefully Max and Glenn can do the business. But if they get 9-5 down, it's going to be tough for them. I know, because we were in this situation last season where we were down against the Marauders and down against the Chalk to Q and just couldn't reel off any wins.
Yep. No, I think the Marauders have put themselves in a very good spot here, and this is something that George was actually saying when it was only 6-4, that there was a huge difference between 7-4 and 6-5, and when Kenny comes in and clears up in one visit, if he's playing well, they really need Chalk the Q need to actually up the game here.
I don't look in this table configuration. Hemi really has to run the table. He just needs to back himself to go for it, because there's two balls on the rail, and so he's got plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, you're right in saying that. Actually, this is one of those games where it's clearly open for Hemi, and if he lets Matt in too many times, Matt will actually take control of the frame. That's a great shot.
Blackout,
That's a great
shot.
Actually.
So the ball he's looking at now is the key ball.
Yep.
If he can pot this one or run it over the pocket, then he's definitely got control of the table.
Yeah, that's correct. So if you can get this nice and close or in, that's perfect. That's a great shot.
Yep. I would not even look at the ball in the corner. This is the right shot to play. So he either pots it or leave it over the pocket.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. He's just got to drop this in. That's okay. That's a decent result anyway. So now the pressure is all on Matt, and he can get an easy snooker out of this straight away. But
surprised he didn't go for the snooker. Might be in off. Oh, he avoided me off.
I think he rushed that a little bit.
I would not be. I guess he didn't go either way. Once again,
this could be bad. Oh, it's actually okay.
I think if Palco watches this frame on replay again, the right shot to play was actually the soft touch snooker, white ball on the yellow.
Yeah, that's right.
Near the pocket, promote it a little bit more and leave the white behind the other yellow to get a snooker.
I think he needed a couple of visits in there.
So Glenn knows that he just gave huge high fives all around by Chalk to Q, because I knew that was like a huge win. That they
So
had to
this
pull
is
off.
that was a huge frame for them, and it might start a little bit of a momentum for a comeback. We'll have to watch.
So once again, if the Marauders get to 9 and get on the hill, they'll feel a lot more comfortable. Now it's up to Mark Ferdinands to take on Glenn O'Connell. Glenn hasn't played his best tonight, so maybe he'll give some magic in this frame, which he's capable of. More than that, he's a first division player and one of the rising stars, so you expect him to bounce back in this frame. Looks like it's going to be a dry break.
Yeah, it's opportunity for Glenn here.
Alright, looking at this configuration, I'm going to say Reds.
Yeah.
Alright, so the great man JT's got to go home, so
His contribution
won't get
will
to
be
experience this
noted
commentary
and
on this.
appreciated.
Glenn is looking at reds. He's playing a highly risky shot because if this doesn't pass by the yellows, he's going to hand table advantage
Yeah,
to
it's
Mark.
I like reds more, but at the same time, he needs to play 3 or 4 good shots, and it's one of those situations where the reds are more open, but he has to navigate his way around a lot of yellows. So there's quite a lot of potential for things to go wrong here for Glenn. Yeah, I think he's taking the right shot here. He'll get himself soft touch here into the open. That's a good shot.
A little bit unlucky with the leave. He landed a little bit lower
He's opened
than
himself
he
up.
expected.
If you can see the red, if you can see the red closest to the right corner pocket, as we see it from here, the bottom right. If you can see that red directly, he's got a chance to just keep going. If not, he'll have to take the one in the top corner.
Study, intense focus. He's seeing if it passes, if he can hit the red, I think, onto the rail and cover it, the pocket where the yellow is. And
that was a good
still
effort. It wasn't the result he expected, but it was a good effort. I didn't realize that there was a gap in there, so that was a good effort.
Mark. I'd probably say Mark's best bet is to go for the furthest yellow, either pot it or sit over the pocket. From there, you can kind of like look at the table the way it is. You can actually re-slip the yellow that's on the rail back past that red, so if you can get the right ball position on that.
So I think he will.
But first
he will be aware of
choice
that.
first.
If he can pot something here and get himself, or he could push this yellow over the corner as well. That's a possibility too.
So if he misses this, he leaves the whole table open. Good containing shot. As I was saying, like if that yellow hadn't sit over the pocket, that whole table would have been out. So he played it with the right pace, covered. So it leaves Glenn with a couple of problems here.
And Glenn, I think, is about to do the right thing because he's aware of the fact that there's a gap for the yellow to go past. So he's probably removing the possibility of that happening now by just potting this red, and potentially if he can screw back far enough.
Oh, I thought it was going to almost pot that yellow.
He's almost potted that yellow.
Probably now resorted to playing a double on this red.
Yeah, so he's going to try and put it over the corner, which is actually ultimately is quite clever to get that yellow out of the way, because now he can solve this problem. That is quite good.
That's okay because the yellow, red aren't going anywhere. Sorry, we have the auto sleep on the camera, so we'll figure it out before 9 ball final way.
And even though this particular streaming is not sponsored by Panasonic, if Panasonic would like to give us some money for this, we would not be totally against it.
So apologies for that little technical difficulty. I forgot actually. I should have gone up and touched it myself, but it's just to focus intently on this particular frame.
We'll call it a commercial break. And
well, that's the way live stream should be heading, is that we should have commercial breaks with sponsors and everything going on. I'm not entirely sure I agree with that shot because it kind of like opens one of the reds for Glenn to go for at some stage. He probably pots the one over to the corner because there's no strategic advantage leaving it there at the moment.
I think you're right here. He might also elect. I mean, the reason why I'd want to leave that red over the corner is because it makes it possible to just run the other red closest to the white right now into the corner from the other side. But he doesn't have the chance to do that now, so he's forced into trying to get that out. Is he looking at the plans? It's a very ambitious shot. If it works, it's perfect, but it's quite ambitious. He may be forced into going for it.
Well, that cannon is on. Is it going for the middle or is it going for the cannon?
I think he might be going for the cannon. Oh, that's a great effort.
Oh, that was a great
That's an
attempt.
absolutely amazing effort.
But he's cleared the trouble now. If he got that ball, look where the white landed. Like, could have just run that one next to the yellow up, pot over the corner, come back. He would have been in control. So Mark's got a lot of work to do now because Glenn does have control of the table. There's no obvious yellow ball can sneak in between the two reds. Maybe the furthest yellow, if he gets the right angle, play it off the cushion so it hits off the cushion, bounces into the yellow. That's probably the best choice. So now you pot this yellow long pocket, run the cue ball where the yellow is currently, and you can have that shot I was talking about earlier.
To try and push a yellow over that corner. I'd have to go around and check whether the angle is there. I think it might be. He might be thinking about doing something like that now.
I might be going for it now. A tough angle, the cue ball could go in off. Yeah.
I think it's quite possible that he's just potting this in the corner, but in the left-hand corner. Ooh, doesn't want in off.
It's not a bad leave, except that Glenn's got the natural angle to cut that red ball next to the yellow and sink the other red and gain control of that pocket. Once he gains control of that pocket, it's easy to control the cue ball to get the out, because the black is still potable in 2 pockets that I see, 3 pockets actually. I'm surprised he went for that shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that shot.
I always think it's a one-shot pub player though, so excuse me folks at home if you play 2 shots and go, what the hell is Long talking about? Because I usually play one-shot pub rules, so the shots I call are exactly what I do, like at a pub somewhere in New Mooseheads playing for money.
So he's pushing this yellow. Is he pushing this yellow onto the other reds? No, he's not. He's just... I don't think he liked that result. So I think...
It's
Mark
kind of
is
like
left with
his
a decent opportunity
ability
to
to control the table is diminished slightly because of that shot. Mark now just has to back himself. Look how open the yellows are. Pot the one to the middle, and you've got a natural angle now to get that yellow closest to the red over the pocket. Or pot it. If he pots that one, it's basically game. I'll probably go top right-hand pocket if he misses.
So
He still gets control of the
he's
pocket
going
where
around
there's
and
2
checking
red balls.
and checking that angle. So he's maybe that yellow actually goes. And our view here is not quite as good. Let me go and check. The yellow actually goes past the red. The yellow goes. The yellow
So that yellow goes. So I
Yellow
think
goes
Mark's
past the
probably going
red.
to line that shot up first.
So I think he may
He's
be
pretty much forced to from that particular angle. That
He
was
needs
a
to make
nervous
sure
shot,
this-
and it was showed it didn't hit a rail. That was a nervous shot. It showed because it didn't hit a rail at all. Might need to adjust the camera up. It's a 10-minute mark almost.
So I think that was a foul, yes?
It was a
Yeah, I
foul,
think it
yes.
was a
I think
foul,
they've
so-
called it on the table.
So Glenn's got
The
two
first
points
shot is
here.
you hit the yellow on the left side full on, and you'd get it over the pocket or pot it.
Oh,
That's a good shot.
that is quite
Huge
good.
result.
That is a huge shot indeed.
Huge
Oh,
result.
jeez.
Look at that. Now, he has to play this with a bit of
Wow.
backspin so that he
He could
gets
not.
back out and has an angle for the left top.
Yeah, that's right. He might actually like to play this quite hard and leave the red in the middle, but yeah, he's left the red in the middle.
That's an awesome shot.
Yeah, he could not have expected a better result off of that plant. Now
Probably just run through right here. You got two shots.
he's got two
Might as well
shots.
just run
He doesn't
through.
need to do anything.
Give
here.
yourself a shot on the black.
He just needs to be able to see the black, and he'll, with two visitors, he should be able to clear this up. Now he's looking at the angle. He might be going for the shot right now and try to make it squeeze past the yellow, which he probably does. Ooh, that wasn't the greatest results, but I think the double. might
So
be-
shout out to Graham O'Connell. I think it's Glenn's brother. Don't know what kind of relationship they have as brothers. I don't really know because they always seem to be joking on social media. Not sure if he's supporting Glenn or he's like going against Glenn.
Yeah, that was his only option. He's come up unlucky a little bit, but it was kind of up against the wall. So Mark actually gets
So if I was Mark,
a lifeline.
I'd leave
here.
that yellow blocking the black last.
Oh, yeah,
Because it's got a
absolutely.
natural
Keep it
angle
going.
back at the other ball. You'd probably go this one top to the top pocket.
He'll be going for that last mostly, just because he can try and develop the black off of that if he feels confident enough to pot it. But I think I agree with you. He doesn't have two shots here, so he'll probably just clear the first three yellows and leave himself a good angle.
Now this is a strange shot because you've lost the ability to link back to the black ball, I'd say. Because I would have gone that one there up, develop the black out while you stick the yellow. So it'd be interesting to see how he brings this one to conclusion. But like once again, I talk like a pub player, not necessarily like a 8-ball player.
So that's a great shot. That's very confident as well. He's left himself an absolutely perfect angle to do something with this. I'd be even tempted to try and develop the black here.
Yes, the only problem I see with this
He doesn't
shot
need
is
to.
if he doesn't pot the yellow here. He leaves it for Glenn to actually double it back off like one kiss we need to. Is it every 10 minutes, is it, George? Every 10 minutes? Is it every 10 minutes it does that?
It's a compulsory commercial break that we have every 10 minutes.
So Graham goes, I am for Glenn against Chalk to Q. Only because I'm part of the original Marauders team. I'm kind of going to for Mark and Glenn. Yeah, that makes sense. Like I was saying earlier, the only thing I didn't like about the shot was that if Mark missed it, it gives Glenn a natural angle to double it back past the yellow and into the hole.
So I think the shot here is to try and double this black, squeeze it past the yellow. I don't think it actually pots, but if he puts it over the pocket, if he plays good pace, it could be a good result for Glenn. I think he's played that quite well, but he's not quite good
Just missed it. Because
Not
all
quite.
it needed to do was ricochet off that yellow and the black was going straight in.
So I think this will be 9-5 for the Marauders. I cannot see this going any other way.
Now, if Mark does what he's meant to do, which is basically get on the hill, it's going to be very hard to reel back.
This is easy stuff. Ah, he's going for the left-handed shot.
So Mark takes another.
Bit of advice: take the yellow in the pocket first shot. If you go to the finish, don't leave it for your last ball. The pocket.
That's alright. So the Marauders are now on a hill and needing one frame to win the match. So there's a bit of contention about which shot Mark should have chosen, but he's got the win in the end. So.
I know. But that's just said if you put that last ball.
So, not sure who's up next, but it's all uphill now for the Marauder. Chalk just cues to try and pull it back. We were in this situation last season, JL, and you know how tough scoreboard pressure is because it makes every single shot you play so tough. Almost, man. If you just glance at the yellow, that would the black would just gone in.
Play the other front, that wobble come off 17 frames. You only got pocket anyway.
Why would we go to that pocket anyway? Should just come around with the black. I would have tried to go into that pocket. Just
Aiming for the cushion on that side of it. That's why they're so angry.
Oh, right.
The white took it.
Yeah, right.
So Kenny's on the table against Max Uwatake, and it's for the win for
Kenny's
season
break.
3, $600. We see if Kenny can get it. He's got the break, so he's got the advantage if he sinks a ball, and he has.
Kenny gets a ball off the break very often. So
But
he's left.
there's a bit of a
There's nothing
problematic
good here.
configuration. But I like yellows. I'd go yellows. What about you, Joe?
I think you're right. But I think he might be taking reds on. Just because that's the first shot he's got.
I think he's gone for reds.
Yeah, I think that's just because he's got a shot. There's a shot there. Now, the key
Yes,
shot
they're
for
all
me
quite
here.
kind of open. If he gets this next pot, which is the key pot, he could have the frame.
I don't know whether the red that's very close to the yellow actually pots in the corner, but I guess we're about to find out.
Yep.
If it does, this is it.
You know who the man of the match is for this final? It has to be Mark Ferdinand's. Played out of his skin. Not sure how many he's won and lost. I think he's only lost one. So this should pass the other red and go into the what do they call it? The bottom right hand pocket there. Oh, yeah, it's
That's a good
gone
shot.
for the cannon. Beautiful shot. Just needs to get far out enough to get the one to the middle.
Yeah. I think this is the key shot. He needs to get himself a decent position on this red with a decent angle to try and get on the other red. And if he manages that, that's perfect. If you can see that red, that's
So
perfect.
toss the one to the middle, roll it back.
Yeah, a little soft screw here just to leave himself in that gap. And this is match over, I think.
Goes the other way. I'd say he's got too many problems.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely got to go for the middle.
He's just checking where he wants to leave the cue ball. This is worst case scenario for the chalk and cue. You know, with the Marauders on the heel and Kenny on the break, he's hoping to finish in style with the master. So this is all about pace now.
So it looks like Kenny's going to finish this off with a master break. Like I said, the MVP's definitely got to be Mark Ferdinand's in this match. Played out of his skin. Kenny solid as always, but you expect that from champion player. I'm going to have to do my tournament director stuff. I'll leave you to close it off. JL, and thanks gentlemen for watching, and there we go, Marauders champions of season 3.
Thanks, JT. All right, thank you everyone for watching. We'll head to the presentations, but we'll finish the audio streaming now. Thanks for joining us, and hope you enjoyed it.